Douglass worked and studied, and played as a young boy, raised by Betsy Bailey, his grandmother, born to Harriet Bailey. The age of 7, put to work as a master's son's playmate, play toy. Douglass went on to work in Baltimore and was let out and rented out to work. There he learned on the docks and the wharves of Baltimore to caulk ships and learned skills and was able to interact with others. And through his learning of reading, learned to teach others by writing in the sand with a stick or a stone and then kicking it when others came along saying, just playing, but plenty of learning going on. Escape from Baltimore up through Wilmington, Delaware, on to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and then to New York City, which he had hoped to stay, but was advised to head north to New Bedford, Massachusetts, to perhaps ply his trade as a caulksman. Marrying Anna Douglass and moving up to New Bedford, was unable to find work due to the fact that white workers would not work if Douglass was hired. He had to shovel coal and carry wood. And one day happened upon William Lloyd Garrison, who said, come to a meeting in Nantucket Island. There he first spoke out as a newly found freedom that he gained. He spoke of his days as a slave and his yearning to help others and to move on. Eventually coming here to Rochester, New York in 1847. 1852, he was asked to give a speech at Corinthian Hall, downtown Rochester. He said, I cannot speak on the 4th of July, but I will speak on the 5th. Here's a brief excerpt. Pardon me, and allow me to ask, why am I called upon to speak here today? What have I, or those I represent, to do with your national independence? Are the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in the Declaration of Independence extended to us? This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice. I must mourn. To drag a man in fetters into the grand illuminated Temple of Liberty and call upon him to join you in joyous anthems were inhuman mockery and sacrilegious irony. Do you mean, citizens, to mock me by asking me to speak here today? Fellow citizens, above your national tumultuous joy, I hear the mournful wail of millions, whose chains, heavy and grievous yesterday, are today rendered more intolerable by the jubilant shouts that reached them. Standing with the crushed and bleeding slave in this occasion, I will, in the name of humanity, which is outraged, in the name of liberty, which is fettered, in the name of the Constitution and the Bible, which are disregarded and trampled upon, dare to call into question and to denounce with all the emphasis I can command everything that stands to perpetuate slavery, the great sin and shame of America. I will not equivocate. I will not excuse. I will use the severest language I can command. But I fancy I would hear someone in my audience say, it is just in this circumstance that you and your fellow abolitionists fail to make a favorable impression on the public mind. Would you argue more and denounce less? Would you convince more and rebuke less? Your cause would be much more likely to succeed. But I submit, where all is plain, there is nothing more to be argued. Would you have me argue that man is entitled to liberty? That he is the rightful owner of his own body? You have already declared it. Shall you have me argue the wrongfulness of slavery? Is that a question for Republicans? At a time like this, scorching irony, not convincing argument is needed. Oh, had I the ability, and could I reach the nation's ear, I would today put out a fiery stream of biting ridicule, withering sarcasm, stern rebuke. For it is not light that is needed, but fire. It is not the gentle shower, but thunder. We need the storm, the whirlwind, and the earthquake. The feeling of the nation must be quickened. The conscience of the nation must be roused. The propriety of the nation must be ruffled up. And the hypocrisy of the nation must be exposed, and its crimes against God and man proclaimed and denounced. to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him, more than all other days of the year, the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. To him your celebration is a sham, your boasted liberty an unholy license, your national greatness swelling vanity, your denunciation of tyrants brass-fronted impudence, your prayers and hymns and thanksgivings with all their religious parade and solemnity are to him mere bombast, fraud, impiety, hypocrisy, a thin veil to cover up crimes which would disgrace a nation of savages. There is not a nation on earth guilty of practices more bloody and shocking than are the people of these United States at this very hour.